In just a matter of days, Title 42, a Trump-era policy that gives the US government power to automatically expel undocumented migrants, is set to expire. Officials are expecting a sharp increase in migrants, illegal migrants, as a result. More than 10,000 expected to cross the border each day into America. Already, the Biden administration has lost control of the southern border, with more than 2 million streaming in every year illegally. But the Biden White House refuses to reclaim control of the border or extend Title 42. Now, that might seem like madness to us in Australia and in many other sane parts of the world, but not in the Democrat heartland of New York. Filmmaker Ami Horowitz took to the streets of NYC a few weeks ago and asked people what they thought of borders. Should they even exist? Are they racist? Here is just an example of the responses.
I think a border is racist.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I agree.
Yes.
Why do you think that is?
I don't really, there's no need to really expand on that, just kind of...
It's self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Do you think that having a border is an expression of racism? It's a tool of racism?
Yeah, it's control. So they automatically racist. They think that we're better than them because why? Because we're on this side and they're on that side?
It's a free country, so I think anybody should be here.
It's rooted in racist ideology.
Yeah. Borders.
Yeah.
Ami Horowitz joined me earlier from LA. Ami, great to talk to you again. So borders are racist?
Hi, Rita. It's always a pleasure, but I guess in the world we live in now, everything is racist, even inanimate things like borders. Yes, borders are racist according to the left. The reality is, what does the left want? The left wants to see the destruction of the structures of the United States of America. And what is more of an important structure than borders? Nothing else, of course. So this is another example of what they are doing to undermine the sovereignty of the United States. This is why they're saying such nonsense. But the truth is, and the reason why I do these videos in general, is because I want to have the left say the quiet part out loud, right? And if I go to somebody who's center left and I say, look, the hard left believes in destruction of capitalism, transing 5-year-olds. They believe in open borders. The center left will look at me and say, that's crazy Fox News, Sky News talking points. That's not what the hard left actually believes. But what I'm trying to do is show the center left that's exactly what they believe. They want to undermine all the structures of the United States, the sovereignty of the United States, and no better way to do that than undermine the U.S. borders.
I think it was the great Ronald Reagan who said, a nation that cannot control its borders is not a nation. And it was interesting, in that same clip, you went down to Mexico and you asked the locals there what they thought about borders, and you got a very different response indeed.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it was incredible. When I went down to the place where the migrants who are actually trying to get inside the United States of America illegally, when I asked them if we should have borders, they looked at me like I was a crazy person. Of course America should have borders. What idiot wouldn't think America should have borders? They said, like, look, I want to get into the United States, but you should try to stop me, obviously. And I remember this beautifully when I asked somebody at the end, I said, well, what do you think of people who think America shouldn't have borders? He goes, they're stupid. And I said, could not have said it better myself.
Well said. Now, I have to ask you what you think of the US Navy using a drag queen influencer who calls himself Harpy Daniels as a digital ambassador to try to boost recruitment. Let's just have a look at his work. Ami, I can only imagine what Xi Jinping or Vladimir Putin are thinking looking at that. What's your response? Is this a clever new strategy from the Navy to boost recruitment?
Yeah, I guess they did not take note of what happened to Bud Light when they got involved in the woke business with a constituency who is very much not woke. I guess they haven't taken a close look at the business model that they went through. Look, I'm just trying to see where, if they could show me the math, I would really appreciate it, because it doesn't seem to add up to me. First of all, the military's had a problem recruiting people for a while, in not a small part because of the wokeness the military has been moving in, the direction the military has been moving in over recent years. Look, who makes up the military? Well, almost 40% of the military is made up by people of color, black people and Hispanics. Not exactly a demographic group that is, takes kindly to the trans world. And you have white guys and women from red states. Again, not exactly the right demographic of trying to recruit people. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense from the demographics point of view. And if they're trying to recruit trans people to the military, well, look, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I mean, the woke crowd are the crowds who've been demonizing the military for years. Not because the military is not diverse enough. The military is quite diverse. Because the military breaks crap, and they don't like that. So I'm not exactly sure what they're going for here, but my guess is it ain't going to work.
And finally, just in case you thought the craziness in the US was confined to New York or the Navy, let's check in with California, where you asked passers-by at UCLA, famous university there, whether a five-year-old should be able to change their gender despite the objection of her parents. Have a look.
Little Annie Rodriguez is a 5-year-old girl of color, and she wants to transition, but her bad parents won't let her. Would you guys mind signing a support for her?
Sure.
Thank you. I mentioned she's 5 years old, and they're against it. You know, she wants to go, she feels strongly about it.
How old is she?
She's 5.
She wants to do the transition now.
Correct.
As a 5-year-old. Okay.
Great.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
She's 5. Okay, good luck. No wonder California is such a sorry mess, Ami.
Oh, are you trying to depress me? Is that what you're trying to do? Oh, God, yes. I mean, you know, when I created this fictitious Annie Rodriguez and I chose 5 years old, I chose that number because I thought it was so absurdly low that even people, young students at a U.S. campus would find that objectionable. I guess I was wrong. You show that one clip, that one part, my favorite part, maybe one of my favorite responses of all time on my videos was when this young woman goes to me, wait a second, she's 5 years old? I said, I finally found somebody who's going to object. And she goes, oh yeah, she's old enough to make that kind of decision. And it wasn't like I was saying Annie Rodriguez wanted to wear a dress. I was saying she wanted to medically transition through hormone therapy and surgery. I made it as absurd as possible. The premise was insane, but not insane enough for students in California because they greedily signed a petition for a 5-year-old to completely destroy her own body. Yes, that's where we're at, Rita. I love America, I do, but it's times like this when I say, maybe it's time to move to Sydney?
Or Texas or Florida. Just don't take your Democrat voting ways down there. It is an astonishing video. I encourage you to look up Ami Horowitz's docos and watch what he produces. Yes, and they were damning her parents, little Annie Rodriguez's parents, who were obviously closed-minded bigots for not supporting her transition. Ami Horowitz, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me.
Pleasure's mine. Thank you, Rita.